All right, just a quick review of about from the open until about 8:20 or so, and we'll see. So the open happened here. We had a pretty big gap up. We had a giant FOMC minutes bar at the end of the day yesterday. So again, good thing to wait for about 5 minutes or so. Let the market come back to at least the highway, and then at that point you can decide if you're going to trade or not. So we're going to buy over the highway. The green bars are buy bars, white bars are sell bars. We're going to sell under the highway, and we want our oscillators and momentum and a rate of change to be all in our direction for the most part. We can predict the color change, meaning the change of momentum, and that can give us a double profit usually if we are sticking with the trend. So came back to the highway here. We probably could have got a buy here, predicting the possible rate of change, trading going back up, at least testing those highs again. Didn't quite make it. Got another attempt here. All these, this one would have been a winner. This one would have been a break even. So we do get a second bar full body tail here on the sell bar, and we are short on all our histogram and oscillators, but we're above the highway, so this would be a risky trade, or it had more risk to it, but that would have ended up being a winner. And then we have this small pullback and then this move here off the highway, which again, if you're if the Xroc is down near the yellow line here, you want to wait for it to pull back before you get back in. Sometimes it'll just flat line down here, or it'll meander its way back, but in most cases, if the market's not in some big move or trying to push sell off or whatever, then this is going to most likely bounce and try to reverse its way back. So it didn't here. You got a few bars. It would have been a winner, but this I would not have taken. Also, whenever this histogram is down between these last yellow and red lines, you kind of want to wait for it to pull back, and you can see it started creating divergence here as it pulled up back to the highway, and we have some hidden divergence here to sell off here again. So you could have predict the color change, and then once you get the color change, you want to hold for about 3 or 4 more bars. So you could have got a double profit on this one if you predicted the color change there, with the being under the highway and having the hidden divergence play a part, and you're possibly getting in. So again, a small pullback. Again, Xroc down near the yellow. You don't want to trade in this situation right here. It only went 1 bar reversed, so it would not have been a good deal. We also see that we have a color change here going up. So again, we're under the highway, so you don't want to buy here just because the color changes, but you also don't want to sell unless there's hidden divergence to sell off. And so right now there's none here, so it's just telling you that profit taking's happening. You get kind of this double bottom, triple doji here, and this is all up here, and I wouldn't recommend trading against the trend. Idea really buy above the highway, sell below the highway, and don't trade through levels, and you'll be exceptionally successful at trading, at least this system. So market makes its move up. Again, we're up between the red and yellow here at the yellow line, so you're not going to be taking a buy here. You're going to wait for it to pull back. We get the pull back here, and we get another attempt to go higher here, but everything now is down below, so you got to be a little hesitant here. Also, this is all these levels from across the way here, so you got to be really careful in attempting to buy into these this area. So the first one didn't go. The second one pulled all the way back. You'd be waiting for, if you tried to attempt the color change here on the first bar, you would got the second bar tail, third bar reversed. Probably would have taken a loss there. I don't know if you could have got out. Possibly could have got out if you got nervous. So looking to trade again. So you have 1, 2, 3 times it's trying to go up here. So it's not doing so. So at this point here, 747, and also this is all news right now. So not sure you want to trade through news. You kind of want to wait and find what news does. So once the news was released, you got this little push down here. Could have you got in on that? Well, yeah, you could take the color change, but if you're taking color changes, then you're probably taking a couple losses as well. Maybe one loss or something if you're just taking color changes. But once it sells off here though, and we get this little double bounce here as it comes back, and we get a move off of the gap as that printed, as well as our sell opportunity here. You predict the color change on this run here and take that for pretty good. Probably could have got a double profit on that. My entry order, my limit order, got jumped a couple, like 2 or 3 times this morning. So wasn't I didn't, even though I got in a couple good trades, I did not get the couple good trades. So ended up getting one at the end of the day and a break even. So beyond those two, that's what I got today. But market made its move down again. Xroc down, and we want this pulling back. So pulls back up here, and could you just sell here? And yeah, you could. It would have been a break even, and it kind of walloped. Could you sell again? Well, you can again predict the color change and try to do this again, and it kind of went 1, 2, 3, would have been another break even, and I believe there was a span. It was bouncing between the spans here as it was kind of going down. It was trying to make it to the yellow span, which we knew it was going to, just didn't know when it was going to. So I think we got a couple break evens here as it went, and finally we got this level here, which is a gap level from yesterday, and the market kind of made its bounce here, and you get this double doji again. This would have been another break even if you're attempting to trade through this level, which we weren't, because the span was actually there as well. So you see the yellow span, so you don't want to trade through those levels. We got a really good bounce on the span. Could you take this trade? Well, maybe these double doji expansion here above the highway, maybe you jumped on that. Definitely the yellow span is a good area to buy, even at counter trend seems, but at this moment, again, staying above the highway, below the highway is the better bet. So we went up and into the highway here. So these again have a bit more of a crapshoot when it comes back up through and chopping all the way through the opacity zone. Again, this would have been a break-even trade if you attempted to trade that. Usually you want these to be under, at least under the red dots, for sure. But when it goes through, chopping through, that's kind of it's a trading range in a small sense of the word. So we have again a higher low here. Could you take these trades? It's not a great idea. We wait. We get another higher low here, like a wedge bottom in a sense, as it kind of moves up, and then at this point we're getting some type of move over the highway. You get 2 double dojis and then an expansion, but look at the Xroc is way up here, so a lot of times these just reverse. And again, this is news, so probably not going to jump in on that and once it gets up here again, you're definitely looking for a pullback. You need this to pull back. We get some dojis here, and whenever there's dojis like this, you got to realize something's going on. So you're looking to buy. Maybe you bought here, you're buying through a buy gap. So again, 1, 2, 3. This one actually would have paid you, but this is a sell gap here, so not the greatest place to be buying. It does hold, and the market kind of makes its move back down, and you're not buying because you're underneath the highway here. Again, we're at the end of the selling too, so for the most part, so it's the yellow line, so we're looking for a pullback. It pulls back. If you would have got in on this trade here, this would have been a break even. It wouldn't have clipped you out yet either, even if you held it, but your ATM would have clipped you out for a break even. And then we finally get a pretty good attempt here to go short off of the underneath of the highway here, and that would have, everything was confluent, so this was a good spot to go short. You would have got at least your main profit, and then if you held, you would have got a double profit. Yeah, right into the yellow span again. So, and then we get this doji in here. You wouldn't want to try to sell again. Even if you tried to sell there, you should have got out. And so, but nothing's telling you to sell. You're not going to sell through that yellow span. So don't want to do that. And then everything shows bullish here off the yellow span. Can you buy those? Yeah, I don't usually, or try not to anyways. It comes through the blue span, and now it starts coming off of the blue span. Here, could you predict the color change? You could, but we have these prior highs that they held. We have like 8 dojis over here, these swings. So not the best scenario to try to buy here. It works out, and like I said, if you are buying above the highway, selling below the highway, you're likely going to be pretty good. So back into the sell gap, the market makes a move down. We have some divergence happening here on the histogram. So be careful with buying into divergence. This is a buy setup, and when it would have been a break even. Again, it chops again here, and again these dojis over here, you got to be really careful. You see all these dojis, and then it starts dojiing out the same thing over here. We get a move off the sell gap again. Can you sell these? I mean, you can, but I wouldn't suggest it. I would say below the highway, above the highway. So it makes its initial move down here, and then we get a double doji expansion, and then we get our first sell opportunity here. This one definitely going to sell off to the yellow span. Everything's good, and I did not hold this, but if you would have held this, you could have just caught the runner of the day, but I did not. At least it bounced directly on the pink span, kind of went through a little bit, and then reversed off. So 8 o'clock, and then at this point you're back over the highway. Buy scenario here, everything is up, so again another possible buy right there over the highway. And you definitely want to be break even or take your profits into the blue and yellow span. It punches right through and just keeps going. Again, if you're trailing your stop, that would be okay, but usually I just take those profits at the span because a lot of times they just reverse. Now today it popped right through, no problem. Did it on the down, it did it back up. So we get this little punch here. We're pretty deep on the sell histogram, so you probably want to, there's a lot of profit taking, so you probably want to make sure you're holding off. And also you got dojis here right to the left, so you be careful in trying to trade through those. And then it double bounces, and again you're trying to trade through this gap, this line, this high here, prior high. So not the best idea. If you did take that, it looks like you would have been safe. It would not have been fun. And then if you took the secondary one here, and again, nothing is confluent here, it still has a long way to go to change color. You would have got to break even on that. So kind of grinds its way up here. Any trade above the highway might have been okay, but nothing is confluent. Saying that it's just a lot of profit taking. And then that was it, 8:30, and then we had a little pop up there at the end. So, all right, just quick review from today.